Hi there, I'm Dr. Andrea Moore. I am a board certified OBGYN and bariatrician, but I'm coming to you today as a certified life and weight loss coach. And I want to welcome you to A Better Way MD TV, where I'm on a 60-week mission to help you lose weight, gain control around food, and feel better. Now, this week I'm going to take a little break from talking about food and I'm going to talk about alcohol. And I want you to know that this video, I have no judgment whether or not you drink. I just want to give you some information about why it might not be such a good idea. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story with alcohol. And then finally, I'm going to give you some tips on what you can do to change your experience with alcohol. Because let's face it, we're coming up on the festivity season and sometimes we overdrink during the holidays. So the first thing I want you to know is that alcohol is toxic. It is a poison to us. It is broken down into something called acetaldehyde, which is a cousin to formaldehyde. Not good. You would never drink formaldehyde. So think about that as you're drinking a glass of wine, that your liver is breaking that down into a toxic, carcinogenic substance. Well, carcinogenic means that it causes cancer. And we do know that women have an increased risk of breast cancer and colon cancer if they drink alcohol. So that's the second reason to stop. The third reason to stop is that you're trying to lose weight, and alcohol really has a bunch of calories that just gets really stored as fat. The average glass of wine has about 140 calories, and that's not so much if you're just having a glass of wine every great once in a while. But if you're drinking regularly, let's say you drink 4 bottles of wine a month, which may sound like a lot to you all, but that's less than a glass of wine a day. But if you drink that much wine over a year, it's equivalent to 27,000 calories, and it's also equivalent to 48 Big Macs. So sometimes when I think about drinking alcohol and eating, and I think, would I really want to eat 48 Big Macs? And the answer is always no. And then finally, alcohol causes us to be disinhibited, which makes it harder to stay on your protocol and be true to your weight loss goals. So there's 4 reasons for you to consider giving up alcohol altogether. However, you may choose to drink alcohol, and that is totally fine. And this video is really for women who drink less than 2 drinks per day and are just wanting to cut back. If you are drinking more than 2 drinks every day, and you're thinking about not drinking alcohol, then I really want you to seek out professional medical care for that. This is just for those of you who may want to cut down. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about my own personal experience with alcohol. I used to love to drink. I love to have a glass of wine with my friends. I love to have a cold beer on a hot lake day. Sometimes if I was feeling really adulty, I might want to have an old fashioned at a horse race. There were lots of things that I associated drinking alcohol with, and I used to think that it made me better in a social situation. I was not as introverted, and that the world got a little bit sparkly when I would drink a glass of wine. So I quite enjoyed my alcohol. Until one weekend, I got together with 4 of my very best friends from medical school, and we had a big time. We always have a big time, but I had a particularly big time. And afterwards, I felt so bad, and I got to thinking, what if somebody had videotaped the way that I act when I overconsume alcohol? Would I want to show that video to my kids? And my kids were entering middle school, and my answer was like no. And so I decided that I just had all the alcohol I needed to drink in my life. So that was kind of radical for me, and I just stopped cold turkey, and I actually did fine with it. It took about a month before I really stopped missing drinking, but within a year, I didn't have any desire, and like maybe once a year, and it's usually when I'm with my friends and it's a great summer day and we're sitting on the porch, I think, oh, it might be nice to have a glass of wine. But I like my life so much better without alcohol, there's no way I'd ever go back. So that's my story. It is not something I'd recommend that you do, because you don't have to give up alcohol to cut down on alcohol. What you have to do, though, is you have to create a protocol, just like you would food. And the first thing I would tell you is write down the 4 things that I told you that alcohol does. Number 1, it will kill you because it's a carcinogen and will cause cancer. 2, it'll kill you because it's toxic and it will kill off your liver. 3, it's excessive calories. If you really want to eat an extra 48 Big Macs, then keep drinking. And 4, it disinhibits you, so it keeps you from sticking to your plan. And you know what? I just remembered another thing. So here's the other thing that alcohol does. It makes all the menopausal symptoms worse. I promise you. When I would drink alcohol, and I actually experience this with sugar now too, but I would wake up all night long just having hot flash after hot flash after hot flash. And I would have more hot flashes the next day and just feel overall worse. You know, when you're in your 50s, alcohol feels a lot different than when you're in your 20s. So just remember that. All right. So how do you do a protocol? You make a decision on how much you're going to drink. And I would offer you to try to do that from now until the end of the year, until January 1st. How much alcohol do you want to consume in that period of time? And I have you do this because I think even like if you drink a glass of wine a day and there are 3.5 glasses in a bottle, then you're going to drink about 1.5 bottles a week. So, you know, whatever your drink of choice is, figure out how much you drink on a normal basis and then decide how much you want to drink. And then break that down by week and then set up a protocol. So maybe you're like, okay, I'm only going to drink wine on Friday and Saturday, and I'm only going to have 2 glasses of wine. Then you want to write that down and you want to write out 10 compelling reasons why you want to do that. And then I want you to practice thinking that, because remember, it's our thoughts that drive our actions. So you set up your protocol and then you stick to it. And I think sometimes it's easier to stick to an alcohol protocol than it is a food protocol. But that's what I'm going to offer you today. I'm going to do another video on alcohol on down the road. I just wanted to do this video because we are coming up on the holidays, and this might be a good time to practice using a protocol and practice doing urge work. Speaking of urge work, I want to know how you guys are doing. I've been keeping my beads, and I've got a few happening here, and I feel like over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have lots of opportunity to practice feeling those urges and not responding by avoiding, resisting, or eating. Okay, so good luck. If you have any questions, put the comments down below. We are at week 15, which means we're a quarter of the way through our journey. So now would be a perfect time to subscribe. Okay, take care, have a great week, and let me know what you need.